talking about, are you blocking the very thing that you want to bring in more prosperity? Are you getting in your own way? I'm joined with my favorite people from the Activate Your Prosperous Life Summit. These are your featured speakers that I'm sharing with you. And we're going around this panel talking today about getting in our own way. How are we blocking what we want, the money we want, the business that we want, the life that we want, the dreams manifested that we want? How do we get in that way of that? And I encourage you to register for the summit, Activate Your Prosperous Life Summit. This is a powerful event happening at the beginning of this year, 2026, where we're activating what we want. And we're also getting very clear on what's in the way. And we're helping each other as a collective, as a group, to really move through any of these barriers together. So register for the summit, join us, and you can get the full interview of these people and their free gifts. I'm going to get them to tell us about their free gifts today as we go around the panel, because you only get the free gifts if you register for the summit. So Brenda Lees, tell us a little bit about your work, you, and how you notice your clients get in their own way.
Okay, so I'm an embodiment and energetics coach, and I focus on helping women mainly to accelerate their wealth, specifically in their business, move from being stuck to having the results that they desire and growing the way they want. And I do see a lot of them getting on their own way at the beginning. And a common pattern that I see is the doubt, allowing that doubt to come in, like allowing that and not taking action. So I think one of the biggest ways for us to bring change forward is when we're able to tap in, when through action we're able to deliver the message to our subconscious that we're ready, that we're doing what needs to be done, and that we're serious about where we're heading. And I do see a lot of them, because of the doubt, they stop themselves from taking the actions. And I think action trumps everything.
I totally agree with you, because I could be afraid every day running the summit and just be like, oh my God, what am I doing? What did I sign up for here? But as soon as I just say, no, that's not true. I'm going for it. I'm doing this. And then I'm here with you and it's all perfect. I love it. Connie, tell us a little bit about you, your work as a nutritionist and menopause navigator, and also how women might get in their own way when it comes to their health and their vitality.
Yeah. So yes, I am the menopause navigator. So I work with women who are navigating the various stages of menopause, all the way from peri to post and beyond, I guess, basically for the rest of your life. And so, yeah, helping them get through all of those stages and step into their vibrancy and vitality. And, one of the interesting phrases that I hear from clients sometimes when I give them or get them to change an old habit is they'll say, well, I can't do that, or well, that's not going to happen. And immediately they're blocking where they want to go. And I realize that, even for me, I have to be cognizant of the words that I use. I was joking with you earlier about, something I said to you on Saturday, and I'm like, magic eraser, like take that thought out, take those words out. But when we're using certain words, that starts to block where we're going to go. So just a quick little example, when I decided to do my bodybuilding competition at age 51, if I had started out, well, I can't do this, I was never an athlete, oh, this is going to be difficult for me, I never once used those words, because I wanted the goal so badly of preparing my body and stepping on stage. It was like, I will figure it out. I will do it. So I think that we do you know, you don't want to speak perfectly all the time, but when you're making a change, it's good to be aware of the words that you're using.
And also, like when you were doing the bodybuilding thing, and even now as you're growing your business and stepping into it, you have more than one coach helping you.
Yes.
You know, there's one person there helping you so you don't go down those paths of spiraling out in doubt for 2 weeks long, or 2 months, or 2 years.
Exactly. When I was doing my bodybuilding competition, I had a team of 4 people working with me. My training coach, my nutrition coach, my posing coach, and my naturopath.
Exactly. Robert, tell us a little bit about you and your work, and then how you find clients get in their own way and start blocking what they want.
All right. Well, basically, I support and guide people that are dealing with exhaustion, stress, and overwhelm. And if they don't do something about it, it's going to cost them their relationship, their business, and their life. So that's basically where I help them and guide them. I don't even like saying help. I help people help themselves, really. But when it comes to this particular topic, it's very interesting because I always know when it has everything to do with the person themselves. And why? Is because if things don't always go the way they want or planned, when they get frustrated over it. Because if you know you've done your best, if you know you've taken all the precautions, if you know you got the right business partner, if you know you did the finance, if you did everything that you needed to do and put everything in place, things don't always work the way we want them to. So there's nothing to frustrate over when you know you're in the right place, the right time, involved in the right activity. Then you know if it's not this, something else is on its way. So I always know when they get really frustrated, when they feel like they're failing, or all these kinds of judgments and self-critique. That's when I know, okay, now what part of you didn't believe that what you were asking for is actually possible in the first place? So then I start uncovering those layers of the subconscious conditioning that might be holding them back.
I love it. Yeah. It's and it's really hard when you're getting frustrated and staying in your own energy of frustration, and then maybe you're with your family or your friends and they help feed that frustration for you too, because you're complaining about it. Your friends and your family don't coach you like an individual who is separate from you and is looking at you from like, yeah, you're totally can do this, you can do it.
You
Your
don't want to
friends and
listen
your
to your
family
friends and
and
family.
yeah, no, your spouse will be like, oh yeah, I don't believe you can do it either. Like, not everyone, but some of them will. Not some of them will. I've experienced it personally. Kirsten, tell us about how your clients, or how you've noticed it operate in the world, because you've come at things from a bigger picture most of the time too. How are we blocking our prosperity and abundance as a society, even as a culture? And tell us a little bit about regeneration and sustainable.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Again, Kirsten Beekman, and I'm the CEO of Regener Studio. And I also coach CEOs and leaders who I call the game changers of our times, the people who are really here to look at how do we make a massive leap in how we live and thrive on Earth. And our entrepreneurs that we work with oftentimes are just so overwhelmed and so stressed because they're literally carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They have a little bit of martyrdom in them, and they're oftentimes not well resourced, right? And the way I want to answer your question, Jennifer, is in my own experience. This was a few years ago. I was introduced to a book called Shadow Money. And oh my God, what an amazing book that was, because it dove so deeply into my beliefs about money and my perceptions about money, what I feel about money, and what came out of the key thing. There was a lot that came out of it. The key thing about what do I feel about money, it makes me feel unsafe, which was a total jaw dropper, right? Normally people think that, oh, having money will make me feel safe. Well, in my upbringing, the way my patterning happened, money was going to make me feel unsafe because I have to prove I'm the best. And if I'm not the best, then, getting money is a problem because I can't prove myself. And I mean, it goes very, very deep. So that's one of the ways in which we block is those subconscious and unconscious beliefs about money, about prosperity, about wealth, and what it means from an individual perspective and how I show up in the world. And of course, in the regenerative sustainability environmental world, there's a lot of beliefs about money that are fairly negative, and I'll put that in quotation marks, a lot of perceptions about it, rather than looking at it from a pure perspective. It's all layered with the emotional gunk. And, last session we did, last live we did, we talked about gratitude, dissolving that. So, there's a lot of work to be done to clear up our relationship to prosperity and money and to unblock it. So we can do the work we came here to do, right? The impact we want to have, right?
Exactly. And I love that you're referring back to Saturday's live stream. So go back to the live streams that we're having, because we're building and building and building on these themes and topics around prosperity. There's a lot of gold and wisdom in these live streams. Irina, tell us a little bit about you as a manifestation star and how you find people are blocking the very thing they ask for.
I love that. You know what? I love to shake a little bit, the room, because I'm all about controversial things. So just think about it. What are the two topics that are taboo at any parties or celebration or at the table? It's money and sex. Nobody really talks about it, right? So now we are just asking, why is that? Why is that people are not talking? Because there is a lot of shame about it, right? There is a lot of guilt about it. And if we are looking at the way that we are all energetic beings and we are vibrating on the frequency, these are the lower vibration frequencies, shame and blame and guilt, right? So now, once we have that fact that we know about it, now let's look from the different perspective, right? What is so shameful about money? Like, we actually are not even looking at our bank accounts, right? And that's exactly where that generational things are happening in our lives. And it's like common our thinking, because I look at the people and everybody's like save, but saving is never going to tap you into the prosperity. It's not about saving, it's actually about going on a different frequency and ask yourself, how can I create more money? Right? That's exactly what I'm teaching, and that's what I love to talk about. And when it comes why people are blocking the very thing that they want, first of all, they are not ready for the capacity to receive. Their container is not expanded enough to receive all that wealth, right? And again, money is not different than anything else. And I love to train my clients from the beginning. First, learn how to receive the compliment. Something simple as that, because a lot of people are not even, like each time you can say to somebody, oh, you're wearing such a beautiful dress. And the person is like, oh, I got it on sale. It was, like 80% discount. It's like, why would you even start? Like people are trying to already just justify why they received that, why they bought that dress. So these little things actually make up the character of who we are and how we think and how we act. And that's how we produce the results. So start from basics, something that is easy, and gradually you're just stacking on it and become your own magnet for wealth.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, you don't even notice how you push things away just by your words and your deflection of compliments or suggestions that are helpful even. Oh no, I can't do that. Like Connie was saying, like the other day, Connie was personal training me at the gym. And she's like, well, why don't you try working out with no running shoes on? Like to get a better workout, right? And I was like, I don't really want to not wear my shoes. I'm making excuses. But I did it. And you know what? My muscles got worked out more. I felt the workout. And so, even myself, I can push away the suggestions of my coaches that are guiding me towards the path of prosperity that I'm activating, or I can embrace them and say, all right, fine, I'll try it. I'm going to do it. And then just trust that they know something that I don't. So I know something that you don't. Every one of us knows something that you don't. And that's what we're doing here. We're activating our prosperous lives. And we're also aware that we also don't know everything either. And that's why we work with each other. We are always connecting together and building each other up and helping each other remember that prosperity is our birthright. It is our birthright. And we're just taking the layers off of scarcity that have been covering it up. And so if you want to really push the lever and step into your most prosperous life, I encourage you to join the VIP. VIP pass is a $37 prosperity pass to 3 intimate Zoom rooms with me and some of the guest speakers who are going to laser coach you and answer all of your questions and see your blind spots right on the spot if you participate and come into those rooms. You're also going to get some bonus gifts. Many of the speakers have given high value VIP gifts, so you get access to those. And you also get access to a 1-month membership, Life Force Activation, where you learn to expand your capacity to receive in your body, in your energetics, in your mind, and your heart. So that's $37.
Can I just add? Can I
Yes,
just add to that, Jennifer?
Yeah.
And this is again talking back to receiving, right? The capacity to receive. If the people are not even able to invest in themselves $37, how can they open the channel for more? And this is something that I just wanted to invite everybody to think about it, right? It doesn't have to be heavily, right? But you can start from something step by step, just building, right? Baby steps take us to the Mountain Everest. And I just wanted to emphasize how important it is, because once you invest in something as a VIP pass, you already opening up something to receive more and see yourself differently, right? So you are upgrading your self-image, and this is very powerful.
Yes, you're totally right. And thank you for adding that on. We're going to go around again. I'm going to be more specific here and also tell you the talk title that the speakers are doing in the summit, which you will get the full interview of their talk in the summit when you register, plus access to their free gift. So Brenda Lee's, your talk, this is so perfect. You're saying all the right things. So why isn't money responding? Like that title alone, like remind us again.
I feel like a lot of times we say what others want us to say. We try to become the person that others want us to be. And I think a big portion of it is being really aware and honest that the things that we're saying feel true to ourselves and speak to ourselves in a way that actually our body doesn't feel resistance. If we're feeling resistance against what we're saying, like say, I'm saying an affirmation that says, "Oh, I'm wealthy, I'm embracing wealth," and I truly don't believe it, or I believe that wealth is not good for me because wealth is evil, or wealth is gonna make me work longer days and exhaustion is gonna kick in, then my body is gonna resist that. And then the frequency, which is something we spoke earlier last week, the frequency that we are holding is not the frequency then of wealth. So let's make sure that we're speaking in a gentle way, that our body can recognize it, that our body says, okay, I feel comfortable with it and I'm embracing it at the same time, while we expand to the identity of the person who we want to become. I feel what we think becomes our life. So let's make sure that we're thinking in a way that expands us and not limits us.
I love that. I love that. And you have to just keep practicing. You have to keep practicing and noticing what you're saying to yourself, being aware of what you're thinking, speaking, doing. It's a practice.
Can I add
Lifelong.
something really
Yes,
quickly?
yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I think awareness is the key. I think it's I can even say that all of us that are here in this room today, we all have our own struggles with money every now and then. It's part of the human experience, but it's the key is recognizing and being very aware of what is like how we're feeling. I think our body speaks very quickly, and the moment we are starting to pay attention to how our body feels, we know if there's a resistance there or not. So awareness is the key in everything.
It is. It is. Connie, the power of menopause is your talk title. How does the power of menopause, help us to step into that power and really notice what we're blocking of that power? Like, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I talk about is, as we age, and whether it's men or women, but, especially women, there's this narrative that, I remember when I was younger and people used to say to me, wait till you turn 40, wait till you turn 40, because back in my generation, nobody ever talked about menopause. They didn't say, oh, wait till you hit menopause. It was wait till you turn 40. Everything's going to change. Now, menopause is having a moment and it's being talked about way more, which is great. But I'm still hearing these very negative narratives about menopause. It's awful. The only way you're going to get through it is to be on hormone therapy or blah, blah, blah. Like, there's this narrative being dictated out to women as to what menopause should be. And, the one thing that I don't believe is that every year that we get older means we're going to get achier, means we're going to slow down, means we're going to feel worse, means we're going to get feeble. I don't believe any of that. And I'm changing that narrative for myself. And that's how I work with my clients as well, too. So a big part of it, and I like what you said, Brenda Lee's, about awareness. Awareness is, especially with menopause, how we're thinking. I bought into that narrative initially until I went to school, learned about nutrition, learned about the body, learned about, menopause. And then it's like, okay, it doesn't have to be like this. I can change this around. So that's why I always talk about the power of menopause. We have so much left in us once we hit that stage of, going through the stages of menopause. We have so much to offer as women to the world, to ourselves, to our families. And so I just say, step into it, embrace it. Don't be afraid of it.
Exactly. I love it. Robert, the hidden energy trap. This is perfect. So what are the hidden energy traps that are blocking our prosperity, our abundance, our desires? Oh, it's glitching. Okay, we'll come back to you. Kirsten, thriving at the frontier of change. How can we embrace, uncertainty? How can we move towards what is blocking us, like, instead of avoiding it?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah, Robert, we're going to come back to you. I've just skipped over to
Okay.
Kirsten. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
yeah.
Every,
Go, Kirsten.
And so
Oh.
to think of Esther, who says, ask and it will be given. And I have so many clients that are always telling me, yeah, I've been asking so much and I'm still the wealth that I want. I'm still not creating the partner that I'm looking for. Well, she says, it's because you've been asking too much, which presupposes that asking one time was not enough. So you were doubting in the first place. Even in the Bible, it says, this and more shall be given unto you. Right? But the point is, we're losing our frequency with the things that we haven't dealt with in the past, the fears that are running us, the fear of not being able to, or all the energy that we lose of worrying about the future. We need to bring all our energy in the here now to be able to manifest the things that we need. And in fact, we need to be on the right frequency in which manifestation is possible. So I love it. And in fact, that's the whole energy trap that I talk about. Look at where you are losing all your energy. Even getting up in the morning and, I have to do all the dishes that I actually should have done the night before, because it immediately drains your energy. If you're looking at a sofa in your house that you want to get rid of, but you might not have the money to buy a new one yet, throw that sofa out of your house immediately, because every morning you'll go down and looking at something that you don't really like, and every single time decreasing your energy. Throw it out of the house, much better. And then dream of that new couch that you want to buy.
Yeah. Like if you think if it's draining you, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And because you'll just keep going back to that draining thought form, that draining attitude. Kirsten, I was jumping over to you. Frontier, thriving on the frontier of change. What's blocking us at the frontier?
Yeah. Well, what's blocking is the fear of the new. The fear, there's a drive. The people that we work with are, in the category of impact in entrepreneurs, conscious entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs. There's this deep desire, and for many of them, basically a lifetime beckoning to be part of the midwives that are ushering a new way of living. And that's a scary place to be when you're at the frontier of change. And so the fear can be blocking it. The uncertainty, the doubt. Brenda Lacey, we were talking about that earlier today. There's all these emotional reactions to being at the frontier. And so, we've put a lot of time and thought into what is the DNA of a regenerative entrepreneur, or what we call an earthwise entrepreneur, who is able to dance at the edge of thriving, at the edge of the new, and thrive and be prosperous. And so the first DNA strand is inner coherence and the ability to stabilize that inner world so that they can be in a sustainable prosperity, in a sustainable way, building a business that is a new world business, a new earth business, right? And to be able to, you all mentioned awareness. I am 100% in that. It all starts with self-awareness, the ability to self-observe, but not then just say, oh, well, I now know myself, but the ability to then choose something different, to choose not to go into unworthiness, to choose not to be in lack, to choose not to be in that emotional reactivity, but go, no, actually, I am going to hold that everything is better than you could ever imagine. I'm going to hold that I am calm, centered, and confident, and move from that. Not as a spiritual bypass, not at all. Actually, the opposite, of bringing it out so clearly, seeing it with such clarity that it dissolves on its own.
I love it. I love it. Because we can restrict ourselves. If we get into this, oh, I see it, but I'm still not going to do anything about it. Exactly. We can go into lack and restriction and scarcity very easily. Oh, I just don't have the money for it, so I'm not even going to try and figure out a reason why. I just close the door.
We call that notice, which people who've done a lot of self-development notice well. but then notice and observe. And observe means being able to stand back and neutrally, objectively see it so that you can do something about it.
Yeah. Irina, tell us more about, I know you can play off of this. Manifest cash on demand is your talk. And what's the bit? I love that you're saying the inner coherence and the manifestation and the inner coherence arena. I think you can go deeper there too about manifesting more money.
Yes, I love that. And yeah, I just want to just exactly continue what Kirsten was sharing, because I work with a lot of coaches, and it's very interesting to notice that a lot of them still have operating from the lack and scarcity. And it's interesting because talking to them and just saying, but I know it. And I say, if you really truly know it, your results would show it. So there is a disconnect between information, because information does not equal transformation. So there is something, there is a missing piece. There is that implementation. There is that, I want to be, how am I going to be? Like, what is my state of being? Because everything is stemming from that. First, you be that person, and then you make the decisions, right? And that means that if somebody is inviting the person to step in and be coached, they're not saying, oh, I know that, I'm going to figure it out, and just, like frantically saying, I don't have money, right? Because I love, Jennifer, that you are very decisive. You stepped into the invitation when I said, hey, you want to learn how to do the summit so you can actually manifest more money, right? And you said yes. So that's what I mean when we are really conscious about our decision making. So there are a lot of coaches who are actually suffering because they are not honest with themselves. So that's exactly what's blocking them from creating more cash. And I just want to invite everybody who is watching, whoever is running their business, if you really want to tap into more cash flow, just, really connect with this summit, because there are a lot of great experts. And it's, again, information does not equal transformation. People can read the books, consume the information for many years. It's never going to show on your results. You got to partner with somebody who can take you where you want to be.
Yeah. And there's lots of really big coaches out there that have big group programs and that. Well, that's not always going to help you implement.
Mm-hmm.
That when you work with one of us who are very intimate, we're helping you. We're going to actually help you do what you say you want. So I really invite you to get the VIP pass, because that is where you're going to go beyond information. You're going to go into implementation. You're going to step into more prosperous life that you're activating this year. And the energies and the alignments and everything is all here. It's all here for you. It's all here for you. It's all coming together. So if you're watching this and you're watching the replay, please put some comments in the chat. All the speakers are coming back to the streams and connecting with you and going deeper. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with even a deeper topic. Thank you, guys.